When Barron Trump became the target of a joke, Melania's bold move sparked a cultural reckoning. A mother's fierce protection of her child would not only challenge an industry, but rewrite the rules of entertainment forever. When Barron Trump became the target of a late-night joke, Melania Trump's response would spark a legal battle that changed the entertainment industry forever. This isn't just another celebrity lawsuit. It's a story about a mother's fierce protection, a child's right to privacy, and a cultural moment that forced America to reconsider the boundaries of comedy. What follows is the exclusive account of how one comment sparked a media revolution and why its impact continues to reshape television today. The night seemed ordinary in the world of late-night television. The studio in Burbank, California hummed with its usual energy as the audience settled in, ready for another evening of sharp political commentary and celebrity gossip. The host, known for pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo, moved through his monologue with practiced ease. No one could have predicted that his next joke would ignite a firestorm that would challenge the very foundations of entertainment. As the host turned his attention to Barron Trump, the studio's atmosphere shifted noticeably. The joke was quick, cutting, and unmistakably targeted at the teenager who had largely stayed out of the spotlight. The audience's reaction was mixed. Nervous laughter mingled with uncomfortable silence. In that moment, something changed. It wasn't just another political jab. It was a comment that would soon divide the nation and force everyone to question the limits of comedy. Within hours, social media exploded. Hashtags trended across Twitter and Instagram as millions shared and debated the clip. Some defended it as just comedy, while others condemned it as a cruel attack on a minor. News outlets jumped on the story, their coverage intensifying by the minute. The incident wasn't just trending, it was becoming a cultural flashpoint that would force Americans to examine their entertainment values. In her Palm Beach home, Melania Trump watched the clip with a mother's growing fury. She had always been protective of Barron, working tirelessly to shield him from the chaos of public life. This time was different. The insult wasn't just a passing comment, it was a direct attack on her child, broadcast to millions. Her maternal instincts kicked in, and she knew this couldn't go unanswered. While media pundits debated the boundaries of comedy, Melania began quietly assembling her response team. This wouldn't be a typical celebrity reaction with strongly worded statements and Twitter replies. She was planning something bigger, a legal challenge that would send shockwaves through the entertainment industry and force networks to reconsider their approach to comedy. The following morning, Melania's team released their initial statement. It was measured but firm, condemning the host's comments as inappropriate and damaging. But those who knew Melania recognized this was just the opening move in a carefully planned strategy. Behind the scenes, she was already consulting with top defamation attorneys, preparing for a battle that would extend far beyond a single late-night joke. As the controversy grew, the host initially maintained his stance, defending the joke as legitimate comedy and criticizing what he called an overreaction. The network stood behind him, issuing carefully worded statements about creative freedom and satirical expression. But they hadn't anticipated the strength of public reaction or the determination of a mother protecting her child. The media circus intensified as more public figures weighed in. Celebrity parents voiced their support for Melania, sharing their own experiences with media intrusion. Political figures from both sides of the aisle found themselves united in an unexpected debate about the ethics of targeting children of public figures. The conversation was no longer about a single joke. It had become a referendum on entertainment industry practices. Throughout the growing storm, Barron Trump remained shielded from the spotlight, continuing his daily routine as normally as possible. But friends close to the family described a teenager increasingly aware of the weight of unwanted attention. His situation resonated with parents nationwide who saw in his story their own fears about protecting their children in an age of viral content and constant connectivity. As media headlines swirled, Melania Trump retreated to her private sanctuary within Mar-a-Lago's gilded walls. In a sun-drenched study overlooking manicured gardens, she began assembling what would become known as her justice team. Her fingers traced over profiles of the nation's top legal minds, each carefully selected not just for their expertise, but for their understanding of a mother's fierce instinct to protect. Among them, Patricia Reynolds, whose own children had faced media scrutiny, brought both legal brilliance and personal conviction to the cause. The network's initial response revealed the deep disconnect between corporate entertainment and family values. In a gleaming Manhattan boardroom, executives huddled around polished tables, their faces illuminated by screens displaying plummeting social media metrics. Their carefully crafted statement, meant to defend creative freedom, instead ignited a firestorm of public outrage. Behind closed doors, whispers of concern echoed through chrome and glass corridors as rating projections showed troubling trends. Melania's legal strategy was unveiled with surgical precision. The 85-page filing landed on desks across Hollywood like a thunderbolt, its allegations extending far beyond a single inappropriate joke. The document painted a damning picture of systemic disregard for children's privacy, backed by years of documented incidents and expert testimonies. Network lawyers who had dismissed early warnings now found themselves facing a case that threatened to reshape entertainment industry standards. The late-night host's familiar swagger began showing cracks under mounting pressure. During his next broadcast, camera operators noticed his hands trembling slightly as he gripped his signature blue cards. His jokes, usually landing with practiced precision, felt forced and hollow. Backstage, crew members reported heated phone calls and closed-door meetings as the reality of the situation began to sink in. Support for Melania's cause transcended traditional political divides, touching a nerve with parents nationwide. Soccer moms in Kansas shared social media posts alongside celebrities in Beverly Hills, all united by a common cause. The hashtag #ProtectOurKids exploded across platforms, accompanied by personal stories of families affected by media intrusion. This wasn't just a celebrity lawsuit anymore. It had become a movement. The entertainment industry's facade of unity crackled under the strain. High-profile comedians found themselves torn between supporting a colleague and acknowledging the validity of Melania's fight. A-list celebrities with children began speaking out, sharing their own harrowing experiences with media intrusion. In green rooms across Los Angeles, the conversation shifted from defending comedy to protecting vulnerability. Internal network documents, leaked by an anonymous source, revealed disturbing conversations about targeting younger Trump family members. Email threads showed executives discussing potential ratings boosts from controversial content, with one chilling message reading, "The younger ones are fair game. Controversy sells." These revelations sent shockwaves through the industry, prompting calls for immediate reform. As the case gained momentum, brands began quietly distancing themselves from the show. Major advertisers, sensitive to shifting public sentiment, pulled their sponsorships with unprecedented speed. The host's once untouchable ratings began a steady decline, leading to tense meetings between network executives and shareholders, increasingly concerned about financial implications. Throughout this period, Melania maintained a dignified yet determined public presence. Her rare statements, delivered with measured grace, focused on broader implications rather than personal vendettas. This approach resonated deeply with the public, who saw in her not just a former First Lady, but a mother fighting a battle many understood too well. The gathering legal storm attracted heavyweight supporters from unexpected quarters. Civil rights attorneys, child advocacy groups, and even former network executives stepped forward to file amicus briefs. Their support transformed the case from a personal grievance into a watershed moment for media ethics and children's rights. As preliminary hearings approached, evidence mounted of a systemic problem within entertainment media. Former network employees came forward with stories of questionable editorial decisions, while industry experts highlighted the growing trend of targeting public figures' children for ratings. The case was rapidly becoming a referendum on the ethics of modern entertainment. The weekend before the trial's opening statements, Melania received an unexpected show of solidarity. A group of former First families, crossing party lines and decades of service, issued a joint statement supporting her cause. Their unified message was clear. Some boundaries shouldn't be crossed, regardless of political affiliation or public status. The pressure began taking a visible toll on the late-night host's inner circle. His longtime executive producer, Sarah Martinez, resigned unexpectedly, citing personal reasons. But industry insiders revealed a deeper story. During private conversations at Los Angeles' exclusive Chateau Marmont, Martinez had expressed growing discomfort with the show's direction, particularly its willingness to target minors for ratings. Her departure sent ripples through the entertainment community, prompting other production staff to question their own roles in perpetuating harmful content. The case's implications extended far beyond American shores, attracting international media attention and support from global child advocacy groups. European broadcasting networks began internal reviews of their own comedy guidelines, while Australian media outlets launched investigations into similar incidents. The United Nations Children's Rights Committee even issued a statement highlighting the case as a landmark moment in the ongoing discussion about minors' privacy rights in the digital age. Melania's battle had inadvertently sparked a worldwide conversation about the intersection of entertainment and ethics. Behind the scenes, a powerful alliance was forming among mothers in the entertainment industry. A private dinner hosted at a Beverly Hills estate brought together actresses, producers, and media executives who shared their own stories of struggling to protect their children from public scrutiny. Academy Award winner Jennifer Lawrence spearheaded an open letter, signed by over 200 industry mothers, demanding systematic changes in how the media approaches coverage of public figures' children. The gesture sent a clear message. This wasn't just Melania's fight anymore. It had become a rallying cry for maternal protection in the digital age. The network's financial situation grew increasingly precarious as the trial date approached. Quarterly reports revealed a staggering 45% drop in advertising revenue for the time slot, while focus group data showed declining trust among key demographic groups. Emergency board meetings stretched into the night as executives grappled with mounting pressure from shareholders and sponsors. The Wall Street Journal reported that several major investment firms had placed the network's stock under review, citing concerns about long-term viability in an increasingly family-conscious media landscape. What had begun as a single mother's stand for her child's dignity was now threatening to reshape the entire entertainment industry's economic model. When the trial began in Los Angeles Superior Court, the atmosphere crackled with an intensity rarely seen in entertainment litigation. The historic courthouse, usually a backdrop for celebrity divorces and contract disputes, now stood at the center of a cultural revolution. Melania Trump's entrance, marked by dignified grace under the harsh California sun, drew gasps from the assembled crowd. Her Chanel suit, in a shade of steel blue that matched her determined expression, sent a clear message. This wasn't just about fashion, this was about justice. Inside the wood-paneled courtroom, tension mounted as the network's star defense team, led by legendary attorney Marcus Davidson, presented their opening arguments. Their strategy focused on painting the incident as protected speech, a cornerstone of American entertainment. But the prosecution's response, delivered with quiet intensity by Patricia Reynolds, shifted the narrative dramatically. "This isn't about the First Amendment," she declared, her voice carrying to every corner of the hushed chamber. "This is about a multi-billion-dollar industry that decided a child's dignity was worth less than a moment of laughter." The first bombshell dropped when William Carter, a former senior producer at the network, took the stand. His testimony, delivered with visible nervousness but unwavering conviction, exposed the calculated nature of the controversial joke. Email chains and production meetings notes revealed how the team had specifically targeted Barron, knowing the potential fallout would drive ratings. The host's familiar smirk faded as Carter detailed late-night meetings, where staff members had expressed concerns but were overruled by executives focused on viral potential. As ratings reports were entered into evidence, the true cost of the controversy became clear. Nielsen data showed a staggering 47% decline in viewership since the incident, with key demographic groups abandoning the show in unprecedented numbers. Marketing executives testified about the exodus of major sponsors, with luxury brands and family-oriented companies distancing themselves from the network. The host's once invincible empire was crumbling, and the courtroom watched as entertainment industry myths of no such thing as bad publicity shattered in real time. The sponsor exodus narrative took an unexpected turn when Jennifer Martinez, former VP of Brand Partnerships, revealed internal panic among network executives. Through tears, she described frantic meetings where millions in advertising revenue vanished overnight. "We weren't just losing money," she testified, "we were losing our soul." Her testimony detailed how major companies, facing pressure from their own customers, had broken contracts worth tens of millions rather than remain associated with the controversy. Industry insiders began coming forward in what the media dubbed the Week of Truth. Former writers, producers, and network executives painted a damning picture of an entertainment culture that had lost its moral compass. Most devastating was the testimony of David Chen, a veteran late-night writer, who admitted to maintaining a target list of public figures' children, ranked by potential viral impact. The courtroom fell silent as he described how young people's pain had been reduced to potential trending topics. Expert testimony brought scientific weight to the emotional arguments. Dr. Sarah Thompson, a leading child psychologist, presented research showing the devastating impact of public ridicule on adolescent development. Her studies, specifically conducted on children of public figures, revealed patterns of anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. The defense team's attempts to cross-examine her only strengthened her credibility as she calmly dismantled their arguments about building resilience through adversity. The week's most powerful moment came from an unexpected source: James Sullivan, the network's former head of standards and practices. His testimony revealed how warnings about targeting minors had been systematically ignored in pursuit of ratings. Sullivan produced a memo he had written 6 months before the incident, explicitly warning about the legal and ethical risks of targeting Trump's son. The document had been dismissed with a handwritten note from senior management: controversy equals clicks. Full steam ahead. As the trial captivated the nation, a groundswell of public support emerged in unexpected ways. Outside the courthouse, thousands gathered daily, holding candlelight vigils and sharing stories of their own children's struggles with bullying and public shame. The movement, dubbed Stand with Barron, transcended political lines, with parents from both conservative and liberal backgrounds united in their determination to protect children from media exploitation. Social media platforms erupted with millions of personal testimonies, each one adding to the growing chorus demanding change in how entertainment treated young people in the public eye. The emotional core of the trial crystallized during a particularly poignant moment when Eric Marshall, Barron's former basketball coach, took the stand. His testimony painted a heart-wrenching picture of a talented young athlete who gradually withdrew from team activities as media scrutiny intensified. He loved the game, Marshall recalled, his voice thick with emotion. But the constant fear of becoming another viral moment, another punchline, it just became too much. The courtroom fell silent as he described how other parents had started filming practices, hoping to catch moments they could sell to tabloids. Melania's legal team unveiled their master strategy in a series of carefully orchestrated moves that left the defense visibly shaken. Lead attorney Patricia Reynolds presented a comprehensive analysis of similar cases spanning 3 decades, demonstrating a disturbing pattern of media exploitation of minors. The evidence included psychological studies, financial reports, and testimony from former child stars who had experienced similar targeting. This wasn't just about one joke anymore. It was about dismantling an entire system of exploitation. The cultural debate exploded beyond the courtroom when renowned child psychologist Dr. Rebecca Chen published a groundbreaking study midway through the trial. Her research, examining the long-term effects of public ridicule on children of prominent figures, revealed devastating patterns of anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. The study, featured on major news networks and academic journals, transformed the conversation from entertainment ethics to child welfare. Celebrity parents began sharing their own children's struggles, creating a powerful narrative that resonated across social media platforms and dinner tables nationwide. A turning point came when anonymous sources leaked internal network emails that sent shockwaves through the industry. The communications, dating back months before the controversial joke, revealed calculated discussions about targeting younger members of prominent families. "Kids equal sign clicks," read one particularly damning subject line, followed by strategies to maximize engagement through controversial coverage of minors. The revelation prompted several network executives to resign, while advertisers rushed to distance themselves from what was quickly becoming a PR nightmare. The trial's impact reverberated through Hollywood's power corridors as more industry professionals broke their silence. Award-winning directors, producers, and writers began speaking out about the toxic culture they'd witnessed. Academy Award-winning actress Katherine Sullivan delivered a passionate speech at an industry gala, recounting how her own children had been targeted by media ridicule. Her words, "We've confused cruelty for comedy and our children are paying the price," became a rallying cry for industry reform. The prosecution's case reached its emotional peak when Dr. James Morrison, a leading expert in adolescent psychology, presented his analysis of the industry's impact on young people in the public eye. His testimony, supported by years of research and countless case studies, demonstrated how seemingly harmless jokes could trigger severe trauma responses in developing minds. The defense's attempts to minimize these findings backfired spectacularly when Morrison shared anonymous testimonies from other children of public figures who had suffered similar targeting. The most devastating evidence came in the form of a leaked internal messaging thread between show writers and network executives. The conversation, displayed on courtroom screens, showed them explicitly discussing how to maximize viral potential by targeting Barron Trump. "He's tall, awkward, and his mom's protective. It's perfect," wrote one producer. "Just keep it legal enough to defend," responded a network executive. The messages confirmed what many had suspected. The joke wasn't a spontaneous moment of comedy, but a calculated attempt to generate controversy for ratings. The verdict echoed through the mahogany-lined courtroom like a thunderclap. "In favor of the plaintiff," Judge Masters declared, her words instantly transforming into headlines across the globe. Melania Trump, poised in Chanel blue, remained composed as the $45 million damages were announced. The message was clear. Entertainment's era of targeting children was over. Days later, the industry landscape shifted dramatically. 3 major networks unveiled new child protection policies, and the host's primetime slot quietly switched to reruns. Studio executives rushed to adapt, knowing the old rules no longer applied. Behind closed doors, entertainment giants scrambled to rewrite their playbooks. Melania, quote,'s courthouse steps statement became an instant cultural touchstone. "Today we protected not just one child, but all children," she declared, sunlight catching her determined expression. The image would become iconic, a mother's victory over an industry's cruel practices. This wasn't about politics anymore. It was about fundamental human dignity. The case's ripples turned into waves. Universities updated their journalism ethics courses, social media platforms introduced minor protection policies, and talent agencies quietly advised clients to embrace the new era of responsible entertainment. The Trump effect wasn't about politics. It became shorthand for entertainment's conscience awakening. Major networks adopted the Barron Protocol, establishing clear guidelines for covering public figures' children. What began as one mother's stand against a late-night joke had evolved into an industry-wide commitment to ethical entertainment. The message was clear. Success could be measured in both ratings and responsibility. Within months, the entire landscape of celebrity coverage transformed. Gone were the cruel punchlines and ambush paparazzi shots of children. A new generation of content creators proved that creativity didn't require casualties. The entertainment industry had finally learned its most important lesson. Protecting children and producing compelling content weren't mutually exclusive. As the dust settled on this landmark case, the entertainment industry found itself at a historic crossroads. The story of a mother's unwavering protection had resonated far beyond courtroom walls, touching hearts from Hollywood boulevards to suburban homes. In quiet moments, even the staunchest critics acknowledged a simple truth. The laughter of millions wasn't worth the tears of one child. This wasn't just about Barron Trump anymore. It had become a movement, a moment when society collectively decided that some lines should never be crossed. No matter the potential viral success or ratings boost, the revolution in entertainment had begun not with industry pioneers, but with a mother's love. And so as the cameras fade and headlines evolve, one truth remains etched in the fabric of entertainment history. A mother's love transformed an industry. This wasn't just Melania Trump's victory, it became America's wake-up call, reminding us that behind every joke, every viral moment, and every ratings boost, real lives hang in the balance. The legacy of this landmark case continues to shape how we approach entertainment, proving that compassion and comedy can coexist in perfect harmony. But the story doesn't end here. It lives on in every thoughtful pause before a punchline, every policy protecting young lives, and every decision to choose dignity over drama. Has this story touched your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories that remind us of our shared humanity.